Hey, everybody, and welcome to Savvy Entrepreneur, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And I am excited to be your host. My name is Michele Burghardt. I'm with thesavvymind.com, and I'm also the developer of the Breakthrough to Success System, which is an income accelerator coaching program that really focuses on providing your clients value so you can attract premium clients, make more money, work less with less stress. So I'm excited to be here today. I'm with Aaron Montgomery. His company, and it's really exciting. I was really excited to look at his website. It's called Our Success Group. He has a very unique way of approaching working with entrepreneurs. So I am very excited to welcome to the show, Aaron Montgomery.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here. I'm really excited to talk to you about this today.
Well, and we always talk a little bit offline, and I almost think we should start recording then, because I think sometimes that's where the meat and the potatoes come.
Well, we'll
But
try to get those back out. But yes, I agree. That's always the
yeah,
best
we're going
part.
to try to get those back out. So let's just set the stage for everybody. Let's tell everybody a little bit about what Our Success Group is. Just give us kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Success Group is a business training, a success training membership program. And we also do masterminds and goal setting type things. And we work specifically in the garment decorating niche, that people that are making personalized gifts and t-shirts and things like that is where we tend to work. That's where our experience comes. I'm actually a 20-year veteran of that industry. And so yeah, about a year ago, in fact, January 8th of 2020, we launched our first program
Well,
talking.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we just celebrated an anniversary, so it was really cool. I've been fortunate to work with small businesses my entire career in this industry, and it's just always great to see when they have successes, no matter what size they are. And came to a point where we just felt like there was a lot of information out in our industry, but none of it was specifically business related. How do you turn this equipment into success?
Right.
And then the other part of it was just like all sorts of information all over the place, no organization to it or anything like that. So we started this company with the idea of, we're going to give people the keys, the foundations, the things that they need to do to take whatever it is that they're loving about their business and make that into a profitable business. Starting with things like understanding your overhead and how to price products
Right.
and
Oh
things
my
like that.
goodness.
So
I find that because I work with coaches, consultants, and service entrepreneurs,
sure.
and they think if they charge $100 an hour, they make $100 an hour.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they don't really, a lot of them don't have any idea what their overhead is or what their they don't really have a lot of hard costs, but I always say you have soft costs.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal,
Yeah.
because that turns that $100 an hour into 57.50 or something,
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
like you said, those soft costs get away from everybody, even people that are in an industry like ours, where there is a physical product, there is a hard cost in a mug or
Right.
something like that. If I just take that and I take that hard cost, and I'm, the wisdom out in our industry just tend to be like, oh, just multiply that times 3 and you're good. That's
Right.
not true at all. A, that's false. You're not factoring in any of your soft costs. How much does it cost you just to be open every day? And then also, if the market will bear more, then, there's nothing wrong with, reaching for that, because when you have that mistake or you have that, situation that doesn't go so well, you're going to need that to cover those kinds of things. So yeah, that's the first place we always start, is just getting into that. But then, we go beyond that: business planning, marketing, all sorts of different things. And once people are inside of our membership group, it becomes this community, and we're just looking to share what we know. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've worked with lots of companies all across the board. My partner is actually a decorator himself, and basically learned the hard way. So we're sharing
Yeah.
some of the stumbles that he's had along the way. And it's just been really exciting to get this opportunity. It's so fulfilling, really, is what
Right.
it boils down to for
Sure.
me.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're just joining us today, you are listening to Savvy Entrepreneurs, which is the podcast that's for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Michele Burghardt, and we're here today with Aaron Montgomery from Our Success Group. And what's the website? Is it oursuccessgroup.com?
It is. Yep.
Okay,
Just
good.
easy as that.
Well, yeah, thank goodness. It's like
Yeah.
simple. Keep it simple, sweetie.
Yep, I love it.
So tell us about some of the biggest challenges that when you work with small business, what do you think? What's the most, I guess, the most typical? Because I think what's interesting is sometimes when I work with entrepreneurs, they think that they're the only ones that are experiencing this problem. They're, and it's like, no, this is really, really common. So
Yeah.
what do you find to be one of the more typical challenges that your clients have?
Yeah, and I know I alluded to it at some, but kind of understanding what their costs are and understanding how much it is to just open their doors every day. Those are some of like the main big challenges. They just don't have a good foundation, so they're always kind of chasing success, but it always seems out of reach because they've got nothing to build upon. It's kind of like they're just struggling to get out of quicksand a lot of times, and so those are a lot of the big challenges. They just haven't taken the time to spend enough time working on the business. They got kind of happened into the business on
Right,
accident or whatever, however it came to them, it probably wasn't really planned out. And that's the way most things go in life. Something happens upon you, you get excited about it, you jump into it and you go.
right,
But if you don't stop and take the time to kind of reset a little bit, get some planning done, make sure that, there's not any crazy scary things in front of you that you should be aware of, and at least learn how to steer around those things. So that kind of is the first part. And then the other challenge that I've found a lot of people, and myself included, this is always a thing that I work on personally too, is that you and I talked beforehand, that mindset piece
oh
of
my
things.
gosh,
And obviously you and I are speaking the same language here, and so we love this kind of thing. But half the time, yeah, like you said, most people are like, oh, I've got this unique challenge. And when all of a sudden you can realize that, nope, it's not necessarily unique. Everybody else is having that challenge. How do we overcome that challenge together? But then also, how do we, believe in ourselves and
right,
understand that we are valuable, that we can charge the appropriate price for our coffee mug, or in your case, services, those
mhm,
kinds of things. So that's the
yep,
part that is really the fun part for me, is getting a chance to just tell people, hey, you're worthwhile, you can do this, I believe in you, you can believe in yourself. And then once they start making that mindset shift for themselves, getting to watch that happen is incredible.
well, and you know what else you're dealing with, and we didn't really talk about it before, off camera, so it's kind of good that we're discussing it here, but
Yeah.
it's their money story. And the money story is the money story that they learned when they were kids,
Yep.
and the way, and again, this is kind of, and again, I'm not a neuroscientist, but it's brain science.
Hmm.
That same money story that you learned as a kid is the same money story that's running your business. And so, I talk to people and I say, your 12-year-old brain is running your business.
Correct.
So what did you know about money when you were 12 years old? Or
Yeah.
what did you believe? Not know, but what did you believe about money?
Yeah.
So they don't understand that if, like, they lived in a family that struggled financially, that's what they grew up knowing.
Hmm.
And so it's all connected, and it doesn't
Correct.
naturally just go away just because they grew up, they matured and they grew up and they evolved.
Yeah.
Their belief system and their money story is still the same.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then I think that's really the hard part for them to understand. And then you go, like you said, then you have to work to shift that mindset,
Correct.
which is
And
always
it
kind of a fun challenge.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not like you said, you can't just one day change your mind about what that money set point is, or whatever the limiting belief is for yourself, because I can say that to myself today, but until I can really truly believe that deep
Yeah,
down, and that just takes constant.
repetition.
Yeah, it just keep it going. And so that's, we all want that instant gratification,
Right,
but actually in business, the most successful people are the people that have failed the most times. and
right,
and they've been able to learn from those failures, get back up, do it, do more, do more, do more. So we always challenge our members to, hey, how many times are you going to fail today? Go out and fail as
right,
many times you can, not in a negative connotation, but
right.
in a
No,
get that learning
absolutely not.
experience, and
Absolutely
it's
not.
really powerful. Yeah.
I just wrote a blog post and I haven't published it yet, but my recommendation was fail fast and fail hard.
Nice. I
That's
love
how
it.
you learn. That's how you learn. And when you fail hard, that's when you learn the best lessons. When you fail fast, then it gives you, then you don't get emotionally connected to, like in your case, a product. Oh, I
Yeah,
just think this is the coolest bag ever. But if nobody likes it,
that's right.
no, they're not going to buy it. And so,
Correct.
if you can fail fast enough, then you don't get that emotional attachment to whatever it is, and you're willing to like let it go and move on.
I love it. I love it.
So I agree with you there. I do.
Yeah. Well, I'll be sharing that blog post in my group. So
You know
appreciate
what?
it.
I'll
I'm
make
looking
sure
forward
I
to
get
that.
that. I'll get that on. We'll talk offline about that. But
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
if you're just joining us right now, you are listening to Savvy Entrepreneurs, and it's the podcast that's for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And I'm your host, Michele Burghardt with thesavvymind.com. And today we're talking with Aaron Montgomery from our Success Group. And we're both actually located in the St. Louis area. And not that it's really makes a difference, because I tell you what, I think I've talked with people coast to coast, and entrepreneurs face the same challenges wherever we are, or wherever we are and whatever we're doing. And that's one of the nice things that Aaron is working to overcome some of those challenges. So let's flip the script a little bit and let's talk about some of the successes that you've had.
Yeah, this is the part that I was the most excited to chat
Well,
with you about, because
absolutely.
but again, yeah, I personally have a tendency, and I know a lot of people, we have that tendency to, okay, let's figure out the challenges, let's solve the problems, let's fix things. But if we can step back from that and look at what those successes were and actually celebrate those, that's even more valuable than trying to fix things before they even break. So, when this opportunity came up to talk about some of these successes, I was super excited about it, because we've seen successes across the board. We've seen people that have had realizations that, maybe this wasn't necessarily for them. They just wanted to kind of keep it a hobby. And once they were able to kind of accept that as, okay, this is where I'm at, all of a sudden that became a success. We had seen a lot of people have different programs that they went through, and things where it's like, oh, you're going to sell $100,000 if you follow my program. And that's great if that's what you want to do. But we discovered that that's not what everybody wants to do. Some people want to make this just extra income for their
Right.
family, or, all those kinds of things. So
No, and I'm going to interject real quick, because that's
yeah,
one of the
please.
things that when you fail, is like what we were talking about. When you fail, you have an opportunity to explore that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I think people don't want to, I think that's a hard realization for some people,
Yeah.
because it's the coulda, woulda, shoulda
Yeah.
syndrome. Like, well, I should make this a real big business. Well, if that's not in your heart,
Yeah.
it's hard to be, if you're not passionate about something, it's hard to fake it.
Correct. Correct. So that's when we actually had that moment happen for us, because at that time, yeah, we were kind of going, how do we market this? How do we make it so people really want to connect with it? Do we have to say we're going to help you get to whatever?
Right.
And then that really was a realization for us. It helped us kind of solidify our why of why we do this. And so that was kind of the starting point of it, kind of tuning into the fact that all we care about is what our members' idea of success is. That, and we'll leave it at that. So that was the start of it. Then we started working with folks to just set goals, and actually set a goal that's a measurable goal. You hear probably SMART goals
Right.
out there quite a bit. But even breaking that down to even more simple than a SMART goal of just how much and by when. And so as we were able to work with some of those folks, we set up a program called the Success Tracker, where people can submit what their goal is. We'll send them a little trinket, a physical reminder that they can put in their pocket to be taking action on that every day. And then once they reach a milestone, we celebrate that with them. We send them a coffee mug, and then once they reach their goal, we celebrate that with them as well, and send them a T-shirt. That's the industry we're
No,
in. Why not, right?
I
So
think that's a great idea.
yeah, it's been cool. But what's been the most rewarding of that is, people set these goals that, a little bit made them uncomfortable. And that's what we encourage them to set some goals. We wanted to do a 12-month goal that was uncomfortable. and then we check in with them, and inside of our Facebook group, there's discussions about it and things like that. And so we had one young lady that set a sales goal for herself. And within 3 months after starting this and focusing on it every day and following our process that we lay out there, she actually had already reached her milestone. And this was before the fourth quarter holiday season, which was a big business for her. And so her goal was to reach this milestone by, I believe, about May of this next year, of this year, 2021 now. And last time I was able to speak with her about it just last week, she thinks that it may be the end of this month, maybe February, where she reaches that goal. And so now she's already like, okay, how do I, and it's just watching that change in, okay, I get from point A to point B. So maybe next time I should set my goal a little bit higher,
Well,
and see what
and too,
happens.
she almost has to readjust this year's goal because it's already so attainable. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she's going to have a couple more months that she might just flap in the breeze. So
Yeah.
it's like we need to adjust a little bit already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well,
It
that's really
definitely,
cool.
it
That's
is really
really,
cool.
really cool.
Um,
So
but
tell me a little bit about like what kind of processes do you recommend?
Well, so I actually just completed my certificate. I'm a Jack Canfield Success Principles certified
Oh,
trainer, and so a lot of my basis comes from that kind of thing. And to me, those success principles are presented as ways that you can live your life in a sense, and I've always loved that, and I've always really kind of been drawn to that kind of thinking. But I've really noticed that I can also take those same principles and just make them work for a business as well.
mhm.
Kind of get clear why you're here, have a very clear why, your mission statement, whatever that is, getting into taking action every day, unleashing the power of goal setting.
Mhm.
All of those principles kind of ring true for me personally, but then I'm able to bring those to our members as, here's how we can also set up a great foundation for our business. So those processes for me are typically, um, we use a rule of 5 where we take action every day. Right now our members are going through a challenge that we've put together of ways to, how do we share what we're doing with more people more often? And
Oh,
that's a challenge inside of our group. So a lot of it boils down to, how do we, I don't want to say trick ourselves, because we're not necessarily tricking ourselves, but we're bringing in motivation, where we're being intentional. We're kind of, I guess, like I said, I don't want to say tricking ourselves. What we're doing is we're tricking ourselves to take actions. We're tricking ourselves to do things that are just outside of our comfort zone.
it's called a pattern interrupt.
There you go. Okay. Well,
You're creating that's the savvy way of saying it. It's
perfect.
called a pattern interrupt. So
Nice,
you
nice.
do that so that you can shift something and switch directions. So that's really cool. That
All
is
right.
very, very cool. So
Yeah.
we need to close out here shortly. So is there
Sure.
some like words of wisdom, or what, like if you were going to talk to somebody that and you just felt like if they only knew this,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would make such a difference in their business, what would that be?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that, the book "Start with Why" by Simon Sinek is a favorite of mine, and that kind of understanding why it is that you're in business is hugely important, I believe. And here's what I find most people say is, "Oh, I'm in business to make money." Okay, that's fine, but that's not why you do it. There's lots of different ways that you could make money. So why is it specifically that you're in this business? Why is it specifically that, when things aren't going so well, that you keep going? Or why is it that you get so excited when things are going well that you celebrate that? That's the why, getting into
Right,
that part of it. So to me, that is probably the key, because that gives you, again, all that fuel to get over those challenging times.
right,
Plus it gives you all that to reach for when you're ready to celebrate. So yeah, just take some time and find your why, go through a process, whatever it is that you need to do that. Go read the Start with Why book.
right.
We talk a lot about it inside of our training. In fact, I've got a little tool that I'd be happy to share with people.
Oh,
if they'd like. And so if they want to just go to our website at oursuccessgroup.com/empower, EMPOWER,
okay.
and they'll just put their information in there. They'll get a little guide for finding your why, just a little white paper that I put together on that.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I might even put that in on the video. I'll put that in there so that they, in the notes, so that they
Awesome.
can go
Awesome.
and visit that
Yeah, we just
everybody.
built that over this last week to kind of make that to where people can do that. So
I appreciate that. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for being with us. It's been absolutely a joy talking with you, and I really appreciate your time and the sound advice that you've given people. And for those of you that want more information, it is oursuccessgroup.com. And are you on Facebook as well, or is there someplace else they
yep.
can find you?
Yep, we're on Facebook. So at Our Success Group Pro is where you'll find us over there. Yeah, so Facebook, we're on Instagram as well. Our Success Group there. So find
Perfect.
us anywhere, and happy to talk to you. And Michelle, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for what you're doing.
Oh,
I've
well,
learned stuff today too, so this is great, and I'm excited
well, and
to.
that's what it's all about. I mean, it's kind of like if we can just connect person to person and one person at a time, I think sometimes we all grow together. And I think that's really the important part.
Yep.
So for those of you that are watching, you're watching and listening. That's funny. But you are listening to Savvy Entrepreneurs. And if you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe or click the bell or do whatever to make sure that you get more of these. And we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.